Hey, what's up everyone? This is Scrembo from Emotionless Crypto Trading, and today we're going to talk about NEO, right? So the market cap for the entire space is kind of balancing around 700 billion over the last couple of days, even though the market was losing a lot of power, especially in the altcoins that were dominated by the huge corrections. In some cases, we were able to see corrections of above 50%, and it's happening as of right now. But NEO was one of the few ones sustaining and going parabolically from $100 up to close to $200 over the last hours. We were very close to $200 per coin, right? So NEO was going bullish against all the other energy that was pushing it down the way. It seems like people will find a kind of refuge in NEO in the last days, right? So that's what happens. Before we get started, I'd like to address to my oldest video right here, South Korea banning cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. I was putting a question mark there, right? I was talking about South Korea's issue and wanted to update regarding that, as they were announcing the next day after published that video. They were announcing that there are not going to be any sort of bannings, and they were able to address the misinterpretation that's happening all over the space as of right now. So it's not gonna happen any sort of a banning in the short term. That's what we got as a response from South Korea's officials, right? Great, let's move back to our business. This is NEO compared to US dollar, 2-hour candlesticks, Bitfinex exchange, and this is what we're looking at as a chart with candlesticks. Pretty basic, pretty simple analysis in order to have everyone understanding it, right? So parabolic movements since what was here, it was 22nd of December. That was the time NEO was down at $32. You can see it. I'm talking about this spot right here, down to $32. Today it's around 190. Do you know what that means? That means clearly for me, that means 6x, right? 6x. It's around our current position in about not even 1 month. Not even 1 month period of time till 22nd of December, 16th of January today. 6x for NEO, for a crypto that's already with 11 billion market cap, to have such a high increase in price is insane, right? So it's even possible with this big guys. As an example, we just had NEO proving that, and we already know even with other cryptos that it's still possible to reach extremely high amounts of money in a very short period of time. As a growth speaking, once it's bullish and the entire space is bearish, it gains a lot of momentum, because that's where people used to find refuge, right? So very good period of time of growth for a crypto is while the others are decreasing, because that's the time it has the ability to gain access and to collect all the power from the others. It happens, and NEO was the case study right now. Now, of course, we do have all those situations as well when the entire crypto space is going parabolically, and then everyone is just increasing no matter what. Everyone is going high, right? And especially most of the times, we're running on all-time high at that time. So this is where we are right now. Up here we do have a very powerful resistance, and it's not only because we were approaching $200, but it's also because it's a psychological barrier. 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, 400, 500, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 bucks are psychological barriers for people. And not only for them, but also for professional traders, knowing that for people, those are psychological barriers and they have to be careful to sell out. So definitely right here up for people which are active traders, they were having the chance of selling out their position and see how the market reacts afterwards. What matters right now, it's not really specifically to have this correction wave that I pointed out, but also to see the reaction at the level of $200 in the next hours. That's what's going to make the difference. Now, something that we have to consider is we did have a breakout here of the uptrending resistance line. What happens when you have a breakout of the uptrending resistance line? attention, we're not talking about downtrend, we're talking about a breakout above, right? It means that we're getting into the zone of parabolic movements, right? So this is the time we got into the zone of parabolic movements by having the breakout of our uptrend resistance line, which is not happening very often, because that means large amount of money is flying into the bullish category of traders, and they're jumping on it. Now that's also the time people jump in with most of the the most used technique, which is the FOMO, most used technique in the space at that time, and that's definitely very bad, as it do not represent any sort of pure data for people to be able to consider. You know what you have to do, guys, as I've mentioned at the beginning once I started this video, emotionless crypto trading. That's what we do. We're not trading based on the emotions. Whatever happens, these guys are right here just numbers, and we have to treat them like that, right? So once we put these numbers in the real world, of course they mean something, but here we have to look at them as just numbers. So let's just move ahead and see exactly right here. We have a point where the correction wave meets the 0.78 line of the retracement Fibonacci that represents, of course, a possible support position for a bounce back. But once again, what could happen after that depends on the selling power. It could drive us down the way very close to 0.618 Fibonacci green line right here, basically. So this is a zone where we could activate as long as we're not going to break out above the $200. This $200 resistance is going to be active basically quite powerfully in the next days. Once we break that, we definitely have a lot of space going forward to 250. You don't have to be worried till we reach to that point, as well as you definitely want to see how powerful is the retracement. That's what we want to see. Currently, the retracement is not that powerful at all, looking at over here. So we need more data. That means we need to see if we're approaching once again the $200 line, and how powerful is the retracement if that's what's going to happen, and then have an entry, write it up, see for how long are we able to go, sell out, because another retracement could follow down the way, of course, creating lower highs, right? So definitely this is the way to handle if we're not able to break the upcoming resistances. That's definitely crucial. Now what we're representing here is just pure data, potential market analysis, and not a price prediction that NEO is going to follow a downtrend. We don't do price predictions here, and I should have mentioned that at the beginning of the video, but it's good for you to know even right now. So this is kind of the situation what we have to do on. If you are not an active trader, you don't want to do movements in the dark, because maybe you don't know how to do your market analysis, your price analysis, and so on and so on. So if you're not confident about your skills, you don't do movements. If you are confident about yourself, then of course you want to speculate, as the market represents great possibilities of speculating around 10 to 15% always in a very short period of time. So we do have here an important line that could push the market up. It's definitely where the 0.786 Fibonacci line meets with the uptrending resistance line, the previous uptrending resistance line that had a breakout above, which is right here. And this is the one I'm talking about, right? So it goes up, it meets up with a line over there, and that's exactly a price point to consider, which is sitting around 160, 165 bucks per token compared to USD dollar, right? So that's something to consider in case of a retracement that comes back, and this is what the charts are sharing with us right now. On the other side, I must tell you that you definitely, before any other movement, before any specific action you would like to put in practice, you have to do your market and price analysis, because things that I'm sharing right here, right now when I'm making this video, can change in the next 5 to 10 hours, right? They cannot be meaningful in the next 5 to 10 hours when you're watching this video. So definitely very important for you to work on it by yourself and make sure you do your research. Once again, this is not a price prediction. This is just help for you to know in case we're not able to break out of the resistance line, which is a pretty psychological barrier around 200 bucks. But still right now we're around all-time high, which is great for us as the price point has the ability to take advantage of the bearish market. So it's going to move even forward if it finds support right now, and we might approach 250. Right, so that's kind of all about for today. Hopefully you don't get scared. It's not about getting scared. It's not about selling your NEOs right away. Of course, you do have to keep in mind after a zone which is above the breakout of the uptrending resistance line is definitely very, very risky, because that's from where the retracement comes in. Now, the retracement can be delayed. That's the only question mark right now. So we definitely have to see more data in order to be able to say we are in a retracement phase. Great. That's kind of all about. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to drop down in the comments area your ideas. Again, this is not a video to scare you out and to make you sell your NEO or so. This is just to be aware of the data, and I'm trying to share with you helpful content. So that's kind of all about, guys. Feel free to check the links in the description area for materials and for other coaching and collaboration links and so on and so on. And thank you so much. Just, you can subscribe if you enjoyed this. I'm doing price analysis, talking about ICOs, talking about a crypto space use, and I'm trying to be active here on my channel as well, besides my day trading, swing trading, and my coaching program, and all the things I'm pushing into the crypto space, advising and so on ICO. So yeah, that's kind of all about. See you next time.